In healthcare right now, something huge is happening. Artificial intelligence is stepping into the doctor's office, and it's promising to do some incredible things, like wiping out tedious paperwork and even spotting diseases that a human doctor might miss. But here's the twist. As this technology spreads, it's also creating a massive global divide. So let's break down how this powerful new tool actually works and what's really at stake. First off, you gotta understand just how big of a problem we're trying to solve here. And this quote, well, it says it all. For every single hour a doctor spends with a patient, they're spending up to 2 hours staring at a screen, wrestling with electronic health records. They're literally drowning in admin work. And that's not just a hassle, it's one of the biggest reasons so many doctors are burning out. But what if AI could fix that? What if it could just take that mountain of paperwork off their plate and let doctors get back to, being doctors? Well, believe it or not, that's exactly what's starting to happen. So, what is this new tool that's at the center of this whole transformation? It's often called an AI scribe, and its main job is to take on what feels like an impossible task, taming that paperwork dragon. The core technology is called ambient AI, and it's pretty wild. Just imagine a little smart device sitting quietly in the corner of the exam room. It's not interrupting, it's just listening to the natural conversation between you and your doctor. And then it takes that entire conversation and automatically turns it into a perfectly written, structured clinical note. So how does it actually do that? Well, it's a pretty slick 4-step process. First, a device, could be a smartphone, just captures the audio. Then the AI transcribes all that speech into text. Next up, it uses natural language processing, that's the same kind of tech in things like ChatGPT, to pull out all the important stuff, symptoms, diagnoses, prescriptions, and it organizes it all. And finally, boom, it generates a perfect draft of a clinical note, ready for the doctor to quickly review and sign off on. And the impact? It's not small, it's dramatic. A recent study looked at burnout rates before and after doctors started using an AI scribe. Before, almost 52% of doctors were reporting burnout. Just 30 days later, that number dropped all the way down to under 39%. That is a huge deal for the well-being of the people we trust with our health. Okay, but this is where the story gets even more interesting. AI's role is quickly growing beyond just getting rid of headaches and paperwork. It's evolving from a scribe into a tool that can actually help save lives. Take a look at this, pancreatic cancer. Researchers built an AI to analyze CT scans, and the results were just stunning. When it came to sensitivity, that's the ability to correctly spot the cancer if it's there, the AI was almost perfect at 98.9%. That's significantly better than human doctors. For disease where every single day counts, this is an absolute game changer. So AI can see what's happening in your body right now with incredible, almost superhuman accuracy. But the next frontier? This is where it starts to feel like science fiction. We're talking about using AI to predict your future health. Scientists are working on this brand new concept they call aging velocity. So instead of just taking a snapshot of your health on one given day, this AI model looks at the rate of change over time and things like your blood pressure or cholesterol. Basically, it's not about your age in years, but about how fast your body is actually aging on the inside. And here's the kicker. AI models that use this aging velocity are over 4 times more powerful at predicting your future health than just looking at a single checkup. I mean, think about that. This could let doctors step in years, maybe even decades before a chronic disease ever shows up. Now, all of this sounds incredible, right? A cure for doctor burnout, diagnostics that are better than human, a crystal ball for our health. But there is a huge paradox, a major problem, right at the heart of all this promise. And it all boils down to one thing: data. So what's the fuel that makes these incredible AI models run? The answer is pretty simple, but the consequences are incredibly complex. It's data. Tons and tons of diverse global data. And right there, that's where we hit a massive wall. See, a lot of countries have what are called data localization laws. Now, these rules are designed to protect privacy and security, and what they do is they say that any health data from their citizens has to stay inside the country's borders. It's like countries are building these huge digital walls around themselves. And that creates a fundamental problem, because here's the absolute truth about AI. A model is only as smart, only as accurate, and only as fair as the data you train it on. If you feed it limited data, you get a limited AI. And this isn't just some abstract idea. It has dangerous life-or-death consequences. I mean, look at this example. If you build an AI to detect skin cancer, but you only train it on pictures of people with lighter skin, that AI is going to fail, flat out, when it tries to detect cancer on people with darker skin. You've literally built bias right into the system. So, why is all our data stuck in these silos? Well, every country's got its own privacy rules, like Europe's famous GDPR or China's cybersecurity law. There's just no global standard for how to share this stuff safely. And the result is that these walls, which were built to protect us, are actually holding back research and creating biased AI that could end up making healthcare even less equal than it already is.
Okay, this is a huge challenge, a really big one. So how do we get all the amazing benefits of AI without making these global health divides even worse? Let's talk about the path forward.
One of the most exciting technical solutions out there is something called federated AI. And this is so clever. Instead of trying to move these giant sensitive data sets across borders, you send the AI model to the data. So the model travels, goes inside a country's digital walls, learns from the local data there, and then moves on, carrying only the insights and the lessons, not the private data itself. It's a brilliant workaround. But tech alone isn't going to be enough. If we really want to build a fair AI future, we have to commit to some key ideas. We have to make sure we're collecting data that actually represents everybody. We have to design these models from day one to be inclusive. We need to get countries to work together on global data rules that can balance privacy with progress. And maybe the biggest shift of all, we need to start thinking about health data less like a private product and more like a public good that can help all of us. AI has the potential to be one of the greatest leaps forward in the entire history of medicine, truly. But the technology itself doesn't have an opinion. The path it takes is entirely up to the choices we make right now, which leaves us with the biggest question of all. Are we going to build an AI that finally closes the healthcare gap, or one that makes it wider than ever before?